So, Bezrat Hashem, Rabbi Nachman of Breslev is taking us seriously to help us to learn a little bit about our souls, about our nefashot, about our spirits. And he's telling us that we need to listen to the hints of Hashem Yitbarach, that if a person finds himself covered only with rags, and even though that he's so poor and suffer from horrible poverty, still look at the good side and the positive side of that it still helps you. It doesn't mean you need to be happy that you're poor or to dance poor. You just need to understand that still, it's not like that Hashem Yitbarach completely covered himself from you, that he's really left you, chas v'shalom. No, he's hiding from you, but like it's written on Moshe Rabbeinu, that Moshe went into the fog, into the clouds. Why? Ki shama Elokim, because there he knew that God were. He knew that God is over there. God, He is hiding Himself even inside the judgments. Even when you go through constrictions and difficulties and hard times in your life, it's God that is doing that to you. So it's not, oh no, God is punishing me and I'm going to be upset. No, listen. It's so easy to be upset on your parents. It's so easy to be upset on God. Listen. When we're talking about just regular parents, so for sure, every person, every human being can fail, can have bad midot, really, it might be that your parents destroyed your life. Really, because they were just limited people. So it might be that in history, really, they were the ones that destroyed your life. But when you're talking about the Creator, when you're looking at it from a spiritual aspect point of view, so then you must understand that God, He is the source of good. He is the source of kindness. So you cannot criticize Him. You cannot have your opinion about it. You can. I'm not saying don't think. But you need always to have that also in your heart to try to judge the Creator favorably. Even though that it sounds hilarious. It sounds fun. You need to judge HaKadosh Baruch Hu favorably. The answer is yes, for you, not for Him. But yes, He is for sure good, but yes, we need always to remind ourselves that. So if you're going through difficulties, it might be that those difficulties are the things that are saving your life. Are saving your life. Saving your life. So many times the things that were holding you back were the things that were actually pushing you forward to succeed. Suddenly, because you missed that bus, suddenly you found another opportunity that was even better than to go on that ride, to go on that bus. You didn't go to a certain tour, you didn't go to Israel, and that thing brought you to learn higher school and to learn in a better yeshiva or to get wiser or to... Things that happen, you wanted to marry that woman, you wanted to marry that husband, and in the end, from heaven, something happened, and he upset you, and right before the end, before you made the irusin, and then it's been ruined, destroyed, and now you're married already for 5 years with your real husband. So that destruction that you went through 5 years ago was not that bad. Why? Because now you understand that he wasn't your husband, just that is your real husband. A lot of things like that you can learn only if you give time, if you give the Creator the opportunity to express themselves. Time will bring the right results. The truth in the end will be revealed. That even the poverty, that even the hard times, that even the difficulties that we went through were also the way that the Creator revealed His kindness on us. But we can say always to Hashem Yitbarach, it is allowed to ask. It is allowed to want for more. And this is why we're saying to Hashem Yitbarach that we're asking Him to give us the mercy. Ten lanu rachamim. We want to hold the mercy. What it means, Rabbi Nachman is explaining. Sometimes the mercy of Hashem Yitbarach can be to put a person to bed, to put a person sick, to put a person into poverty. Okay, and that's the mercy of the Creator. But we're asking from Hashem Yitbarach Kel Shaddai iten lachem rachamim, that He will give us the mercy. It means in our hand. That what? That we're gonna understand the mercy. That when we're asking that that person will be healthy, he will be healthy. That when we're asking for money, that we will have the money. That we need a house, we're gonna ask, please Hashem give us a house, we'll have a house. That's what we're asking. So it is allowed to ask. It is allowed to want. It is allowed to desire. And especially when you understand the real will of the Creator, His nature, that He is good. And the nature of a good thing is to want to benefit others, to give that good to others. So that's His will. So when you understand that He doesn't want you to be poor, He doesn't want you to suffer, just He is using that suffer as a tool, as a weapon, like that the shepherd use his staff to move the animals to the right path, to the right way. So he can use that staff to guide you. David HaMelech is saying, also when you're supporting me, and also when you're moving me, pushing me, hitting me, both of those things are helping me, are bringing me to the right way. They're giving me the understanding that you love me. So we need to remember that. But still we're allowed to ask, because even the father that is punishing his child because that he wants his child to go in the right way, still, if you would offer or opening a second opportunity for that parent to guide his child in the way of kindness and not in the way of judgment, he would choose it. Because the real purpose of the Creator is not to punish, it's to bring you to the goal, to the purpose, to the right result, to the right way. So we can offer or hope for a better solution than to go through difficulties in our lives. But still, we're not supposed to forget, it won't be good for us to forget the loving kindness of the Creator. Anyway, the loving kindness Creator, He is the one that is guiding us. We can want to improve ourselves or to ask Hashem Yitbarach to reveal His kindness in a more understandable, more revealed way to the world, that everyone gonna understand, that everyone gonna feel, that everyone gonna sense, that everyone will grow and will be inspired and will bloom and will enjoy and will be satisfied. Yes, we allow as the creations of the Creator to tell Him what we think. He was consulting with us before He created the world. How do you want me to create the world? So we are still His advisors. We allow always to tell Him what we think. Like that wild, crazy thing that I told you that once happened to me while I was in the grave of Rabbi Yehuda Zev Lebovich a few years ago, and Rav Aaron Stern was over there, that he was the helper of Rabbi Yehuda Zev Lebovich. It was late at night and I was doing a long hitbodedut over there, and then I came and Rabbi Yehuda Zev and Rav Aaron Stern asked me if I can come into the tent of the grave of Rabbi Yehuda Zev Lebovich, and I went in. It was before of Sukkot that year, and 3 years ago, I think. And then he asked me, do you want Mashiach to come? So I looked at him and I realized that I'm in a very important situation now in my life, and that I'm not allowed to just answer a quick answer. I just really need to think before I'm answering. So I told him, only if none of the Jews will be left behind. Actually, I didn't say Jews. I said, the verse is not talking about Jews. It's talking about everyone. I said, only if no one will be left behind. That's what I answered to him. So he wasn't angry, but he was very upset. He didn't know what to do with my answer. It was like I shocked him with my answer. And then there was another person over there that was also one of the helpers of Rabbi Yehuda Zev Lebovich. So Rav Aaron asked that person, that rabbi, do you want Mashiach to come? So he was a Talmid Chacham, still is, and he said to Rav Aaron, the Rambam is telling that we always need to expect Mashiach, we need to wait for Mashiach to come, so the answer is yes, we do want Mashiach to come, and of course, yes, I want Mashiach to come. So Rav Aaron looked at me and told me, what do you have to say on that? I felt like I'm in court. I didn't know what to do. That in the end, after the fact, after 2 or 3 days, I realized that I was in court. I'm going to tell you why. And then he told me, Rav Aaron asked me again, he told me, what do you have to say on that? I told him, listen, we're not saying no, that we don't want Mashiach to come. We do want Mashiach to come, but only in terms of that everyone will complete their tshuva before. We don't want Mashiach to come and that thousands of souls will be rejected. We want Mashiach to come and that all of us will have the ability to receive his face, to enjoy the truth, and then to be able to accept what that will come with Mashiach. Because when Mashiach is coming, it's judgment day, and we're not ready to be judged. We don't have the ability to be judged. We all feel guilty. We all know that we're not perfect. So we don't want to be judged. And for sure there are people that are very, very far. So if the truth will be revealed now completely, many, many souls will be left outside, and we don't want that. So Rav Aaron was kind of lost with my answer, and after 3 days he called me and he told me, listen, I want to tell you, please, I'm asking you, go to your rabbi and tell him that you, me, saved Am Israel from a horrible decree that was about to happen in Sukkot. And you saved many, many lives. So I told him I would love to tell him that, but can you share with me a little bit? What have I done? How did I do that wonderful thing? So he told me, when I asked you that question on the tziyun of Rabbi Yehuda Zev Lebovich, on the grave of Rabbi Yehuda Zev Lebovich, in heaven they had that discussion. And they were asking in heaven if to bring Mashiach in Sukkot or not. That was the question 3 years ago. And if you would say yes, so Mashiach would come in Sukkot, and thousands of Jews would have been killed. Because Mashiach could have come, but with judgments, with dinim. And by the fact that you said no and you gave the right answer, why not? You brought a good, you claimed right. You gave a right explanation why it's not good that Mashiach will come now. By doing that, you gave more patience and more. You brought down more kindness to the world, and thousands of Jews haven't been killed by that. So, how a person can know how to choose in questions like those, in situations like those? You need to understand, huge things depends in you in every moment of your life. Am I working for court in heaven? Someone pays me a payroll. I've been hired, being a hidden righteous man without being aware to it. I'm just a person, and everyone can ask you. And Rabbi Nachman of Breslev is saying that in Likutei Moharan, that nothing goes on in the world until they ask you about it. And no judgment comes out to the world before they're asking in a hidden way, in a very covered, very sophisticated way, each and every one of the people that are involved in that judgment, if they agree to that decree, if they agree to that judgment to come. And only after everyone are saying yes, then it comes down to the world. The Creator doesn't move a finger until everyone agree. This is why you cannot have complaints to Hashem Yitbarach. Even if you find yourself so poor and so broken, you need to understand that you said yes on it. Somehow. When the prophet came to King David and asked him all of the story about that sheep that had been stolen from her honors and from the poor person, Kivsat Arash, the sheep of that poor guy, and David HaMelech said the decree, he said, Ben Mavetu, the one that stolen that sheep, he needs to die, he needs to be punished. So the prophet told David HaMelech, King David, you're the one. You set the judgment for yourself. You said that you need to die now. So David HaMelech realized, you're right. They brought a different tale, a different story. Someone is coming to you and asking you, hey, what do you think about Trump? Hey, what do you think about Hillary? Hey, what do you think about the Ishmaelim? What do you think about that Arab worker? What do you think about that poor person, about that Haredi? And you're answering. And you don't know that you're judging yourself in that moment. Because that Haredi is you. That Trump that they asked you about actually is hinting about you in a certain way. Hillary, yes, it's you in a certain way. That Arab worker, it's you. That immigrant, it's you. Now, they're using him because there is a similarity between you. There are points that you can compare yourself to that person. And on those points, they ask you that question, and you judged yourself right now. So this is why we need to understand how much we need to go favorably, positively, to be always nice, to always go with faith, always to try to understand God is with you. And even if now you are poor, you deep inside understand the benefit of being poor. You yourself understand why it's so good for you, because it's humbling you, because it's bringing you closer to Hashem. Can you tell me that if you would be rich and successful, you would talk to Hashem Yitbarach like you are today? That if you would have always peace in your house and your wife always would be happy from you, you also would go and talk to Hashem Yitbarach, always to work on your attributes, to work on your manners, on your sensitivity. If your wife wouldn't shout on you that you're selfish, would you work on that problem that you have that you're selfish? If no one would rebuke you, you would move? I know about myself, I wouldn't move. I know myself, I wouldn't move. So many times after the first worst fights that I had with my wife, the arguments, like I lost my mind. And in the end, I accepted her rebuke to me. And I came to her and I told her, you gave me something that I would never achieve by myself. I wouldn't have that point of truth to investigate and to find my lackings and to fix them and to admit on them and to do tshuva. Like that you helped me with your rebuke. How can I not be grateful to the one that helps me to find the truth about myself, to complete my tshuva? That is that important concept that calls ahov et hatochacha. You should love the rebuke. The rebuke, you understand that is coming from the Creator. Et asher yoav Hashem yochiach. That the Creator is rebuking you because that He loves you. Through who? Your prophecies. You're not a prophet. You're not able to receive prophecies. You're not holy enough. You're not pure enough. You're not able to see those things without damaging your vessels, your mind. You're going to lose your mind if you're going to start seeing the lights and angels. Lo yirani adam v'chai. You won't survive those awesome sights. You won't have the ability to see those visions. So the Creator is hiding His light in another covering and in another covering and in another covering until it's been revealed through your wife that it's actually the voice of the Creator that is coming in a certain hidden, covered way to tell you a message. Not even to rebuke you, just to help you, to wake up. I want to learn, I want to be pure, I want to be holy, I want to have money and then I'm going to give a lot of charity. Come on. Who are you lying to? You're lying to yourself. You just like to live in that fantasy. When I'm going to have money, I'm going to give charity. Let's see you give charity. Start with that. Don't start with being rich. Start with giving charity. Start with giving charity. No, when I'm going to be rich. You know how many people I heard that told me that? When I'm going to be rich? When? Whenever. One day. One day. I hope it won't be too late. Because one day you can wake up and you're in the world to come and then you need to explain why you haven't. Why you haven't gave your meiser. Why you haven't gave your charity. Why you haven't spent time with your children. Why, Ribono Shel Olam, you haven't spent time with your children? Why you were not talking? You wanted your children to go in the right path and you never sat with them and explained to them from the depths of your heart, from the deepest place of your awareness, of your consciousness, of who that you are. You never opened the cards in front of them. You never really told them. You want your wife to be your partner. You want your husband to be your best friend. And you yourself never opened yourself enough to share and to tell. No, she's not coming with me. No, she's not helping me. No, they're not understanding. You came, you put it on the table. We need to keep halakha from now. We need to keep Shabbos from now. We're eating only kosher from now. You're going with those thoughts for 3 years, for 5 years. You're developing, you're growing, you've been inspired, you heard so many lectures about it, and you're now coming with a list of new rules to the house, and from this day and on... Hi, what's going on? You're a secret agent of the secret police. What do you want from us? What are those new decrees? Why? Because it's the right way. Oh, nice. It was nicer for me to eat cheeseburgers in McDonald's. It was very nice. What are you talking about? What? You don't explain. You don't open yourself. You're not explaining us why you want to stop eating meat and cheese. You're not explaining to us why it's so bad to eat pork. What's so bad about it? It's tasty. It's delicious. People even hallucinating, but they're claiming that it's healthy. You know, a lot of good things. Why not? It's a cute pink animal. If you will not gonna explain all the way to all of the people exactly what you're going through, how do you want them to understand? How do you want your wife to understand? If you're going with that thought that you want to purify yourself, that you want to get holier, that you want to grow, that you want to succeed, and she's not a partner of all of those thoughts because you're not sharing, and she's just a partner to the conclusions. So from now on, we're going to keep Shabbos. From now on, you need to light the candles 40 minutes before of Shabbos. So from now on, you're going to cook the food 1 day earlier. What do you want? Why that she will be happy to serve you if you're not nice to her? And for sure she doesn't need to serve you, but even if you're running your life like that, and she chose it also, now also as a slave you don't want her to be happy? Also as a slave you don't want her to be satisfied? So start beating her and that's it, and don't worry, she's gonna run away one day. And then you will be free. Free falling. If you really want to reach out to those people that don't understand, the people that are in the darkness, so you need to explain yourself again and again and again and again and again. And you need to share, and you need to talk, and you need to open your heart, and you need to wander together, and you need to think together, and you need to allow your partners to question your conclusions, your wise, sophisticated, intelligent understandings that you have. You know how many times I was standing in those situations? My wife, she told me, I disagree, and I think you're wrong, and I think that Hashem is not like you're explaining, and I think that Hashem is this and that. And I was losing my mind. I wanted to jump out the window. I didn't know what to do. But because that Hashem gave me those powers of iron, of steel, to stand and not to move, and not to let her reject herself even, and not to be rejected by her doubts and her fears, I could hear the voice of the Shechina talking out of her mouth. That it's written on the Shechina Kedosha, that the Shechina Kedosha is refusing to accept the promises of the Creator. The feminine side of the Creator is not accepting the claims and the explanations and the promises of the Creator. And she's screaming at the Creator. The Shechina Kedosha is saying to Father in heaven, Kalani meroshi, kalani mezroi. He is cursing me, she is saying. The Shechina Kedosha is saying, the Creator is cursing me. You exiled me and my children to between the nations, to be murdered, to be raped, to be forced, to be abused over there, to suffer from sicknesses, illnesses, plagues, poverty, executions, horrible things, suffering. And now you promise to us, don't worry, my daughter, one day I'm going to bring you back. Don't worry, my wife, my lovely bride, my daughter, my beloved. Are you kidding me? The Shechina is saying. Are you talking to me? The Shechina is saying. She takes out her weapon and shooting the Creator in his face. She's not afraid. She's a crazy woman now after 2,000 years of exile. You cannot talk to her. She is. She is defending her children in the exile, fighting for them when they're being raped, when they're being insulted, when they're being abused. That's the voice of the Shechina Kedosha. So now your wife, She's got the merit to be the Shechina Akdosha. So now you, okay, be in the side of the Creator. Let's see you. Let's see you promising to her a better future. And let's see you bringing future. Let's see you benefit her life, helping her, giving her confidence, telling her, answering her, solving all of her doubts, all of her fears, helping her, being a friend, a loyal husband, a real leader, merciful leader, a kind person, a strong, powerful man. Be that one. Then you will have the ability to bring her out from the exile. And the real results of you being such a powerful person is that you're going to change things in kingship of heaven also. Because when you're going to win in those battles, in your house, in your living room, in your life, you're going to make changes in the world. The Creator going to listen to you and going to say, Amen ken yehi ratzon. Like that you just said. Like that when I said on top of the grave of Rabbi Yehuda Zev Lebovich that we will not going to accept, that no one will be left behind, we're not going to let no one be left behind, I'm going to stay with him. I'm not going to go to be redeemed. I choose to stay with my people. Betoch ami anochi yoshevet. I'm staying with the poorest ones, with the ones that have no wisdom, no understanding. Like Moshe Rabbeinu, that it's written on him that he was sag mikol vachol. That when he saw a person that was far from everything, far from understanding, far from knowledge, Moshe Rabbeinu said to himself, I want to be with him. And he went to sit with him on the side curve, on the sidewalks, on the barzelim, on the fence, talking to him, explaining him, spending time with him for hours. With who? With the poorest ones of them all, with the farthest ones of them all, with the ones that have no understanding about faith. Why? Because he saw the spark. He saw the holy spark of their holy soul that is shining from inside, the pure will. The loyalty, the kindness, the friendship, the desire for truth, for honor. That's what he saw. He was recognizing the good points inside of those souls. And he went out to reach to those holy souls. And he was bringing them back to the holy camp, to the camp of Israel, to the Holy Land, to the Promised Land. Before you stabilized your faith in yourself, in the truth that you claim that it's the truth, you cannot sell it to others. You cannot offer it to others. You cannot tell your wife, no, count on Hashem, when you don't have that confidence in Hashem. And when your wife, she's coming and shaking your confidence, shaking your stability, waking up those fears inside of you, instead of making her your enemy and hating her for that, take that as a lesson that your faith is not strong enough, and go strengthen your faith, work on your faith with the Creator. Go to Hashem. Tell her, you know what? I'm going to answer you in an hour. If she's going to break plates on your head, okay, so you cannot go. But if she won't, so go and talk to Hashem on that. Go wait to the right time. Talk to Hashem. Tell Hashem, today I realize I'm not counting on you also. It's not my wife's lack of confidence. It's my lack of confidence. If I would count on you completely, I would know what to answer. I would answer her. I would answer a satisfying answer that would satisfy her, and she would say, you know what, you're right. But if I didn't know what to answer, so it's because I don't know the answer. If I would know the answer, I would answer. And if you're lying to yourself to say, no, I do know the answer, you're just lying. What, you rather to break your house because your wife, she's suffering? You rather to fight with your wife that your children are going to suffer just because that you don't have the patience? Okay, so go and cry to Hashem. I don't have faith. I don't see that it's all you. I don't understand that I'm not able to express myself. Maybe that's what you need to fix. Maybe you need to learn how to express yourself. No matter what, if you want to come closer to the Creator, there is nothing that can reject you from it. Nothing in the world can reject you from that. If you really want to come closer to the Creator, nothing can reject you from it. Because everything that will come to hit you, you're going to accept it as a lesson. You're going to learn from it. And you will never going to be defeated. You will never going to lose the fight. You will always going to stand up back on your feet, back on your legs, no matter what, which punched you gut to your face, knockout, you're going to stand up back on your legs. You're going to reborn, you're going to renew yourself, you're going to start all over again, and you're going to say to Hashem Yitbarach, thank you for the amazing lesson. Thank you for the amazing lesson.